Today's date is May 6, 2016. The time is 10:43 a.m. We're on the record.
Thank you.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony which you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, before we get started, Mr. Smith, I want to ask you to speak up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Smith, my name is Trung Tran, and I'm the prosecutor. I represent CPS in this case, and we're going to ask you a few questions, okay?
Okay.
Would you please state your name for the record?
Ryan Smith, Senior.
Senior?
Yeah.
Okay. How old are you, Mr. Smith?
25.
What is your date of birth?
1/3 of 91.
When what?
I can't.
1/3 of 91.
Where do you reside, Mr. Smith?
Freeport.
What is the address?
310 Yale Pine Street, number 204.
What is your highest level of education?
11th.
Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Who do you work for?
Morris Shea.
What do you do for them?
I'm a laborer.
How much do you get paid?
$17 an hour.
How many hours a week do you work?
Monday through Friday. So it's like 50-something hours.
And is that every week?
Hmm.
I need yes or no, please.
Yes.
How long have you been with them? With this company?
Be 7 months on the 28th.
When did you start with them?
December 28th.
Of what year, sir?
2015.
Prior to this, where were you working at?
Concept West.
What did you do for Concept Plus?
Mixed chemicals.
How much were you paid at that time?
$9 an hour.
Sorry, I heard $1?
$9.
Nine. I'm sorry.
$9 an hour.
How many hours per week did you work?
40.
40? When did you start with Concept Plus?
I don't remember.
Do you remember how long you were with them?
Like 3 months.
3 months? So when you left Concept Plus, did you go immediately to Morris, you said?
Hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
So would it be fair to say that you started sometime in December? I mean, you quit Concept sometime in December?
Yeah.
Yes? No, I'm sorry, I say you quit. Did you quit or did you get fired from Concept?
I quit.
Prior to Concept Plus, were you employed?
Yeah, I worked waste management.
What did you do for waste management?
Pick trash up.
How much did you make?
$11.50 an hour.
How many hours per week did you work?
65.
Do you remember when you started with waste management?
Around March of 2014, I think. Can't really remember what year.
And how long were you with waste management?
6 months.
What happened to that job?
I got fired.
Why did you get fired?
I had too much going on.
Okay. How many children do you have, Mr. Smith?
2.
What are their names?
Ryan Edward Jr. Smith, or Ryan Edward Smith Jr., and then Dominic Anthony Smith.
How old is Ryan?
A year and 7 months.
Do you know his date of birth?
11/24/2014.
And how old is Dominic?
6 months.
And do you know his date of birth?
10/19/2015. 10
10?
19/2015.
Do you know why CPS is involved with you, Mr. Smith?
Because they accused us of not feeding our son for 12 hours.
Is that your understanding?
Mm-hmm.
Objection form.
Do you remember when Ryan was picked up by CPS?
January
Do you remember the year?
14.
Sorry.
2014.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, so please can you just speak up a little bit?
January 2014.
Okay. When Ryan was picked up in January 2014, where were you living?
It's at my mother's.
Do you know the address there?
2521 Oyster Creek Bend, Oyster Creek, Texas.
And for the record, what is your mother's name?
Cheryl Parsons.
How long did you live with Miss Parson?
For a year and a half, that address. It was a year and a half at the address.
Ryan, can you sit up straight and then there you go. Project out so he can hear your hand. There you go.
When did you leave Miss Parson?
When we moved out
Yes, when did you
to
move out?
the apartment.
Do you remember the approximate time?
No,
Do you know the approximate year?
not exactly.
Okay. So when you left Miss Parson, where did you go?
To the apartments in Freeport.
Okay. Did you ever reside with Stephen and Barbara Erickson?
Yes.
Now, did you reside with them prior to the apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. So just to get the timeline straight, you live with Miss Parson, is that correct? Then you moved to the Erickson, is that correct?
Yes.
And then you moved to the apartment, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you're currently still in the apartments.
Yes.
Do you remember how long you lived with Mr. Erickson?
No.
Do you remember why you left Mr. Erickson?
We maybe got in a little argument. I had a little words and he told me to leave, so I left.
Okay. I'm having a hard time hearing you. So you said you had an argument,
Yes.
and then what happened? I'm sorry.
And he asked me to leave, so I left.
Okay. So he asked you to leave?
Hmm.
And when you left Mr. Erickson, you went directly to the apartments?
Rejection form.
Yes.
How big is your apartment?
It's a 1-bedroom.
Do you happen to know the square footage?
No.
How much is your rent?
1,000 a month.
Are you paying utilities?
No, it's all bills paid.
So for $1,000, everything's included.
Hmm.
Is that yes? Okay. What other monthly expenses do you have?
Our phones and just regular stuff, food, buying formula, buying stuff for the baby, and that's about it.
Okay, do you own a vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. What's the make, model, and year of the vehicle?
A Honda Civic,
What year is it?
2000.
I'm sorry.
A 2000.
2000 Honda Civic? Do you know the value of that vehicle?
Rejection form.
No.
Is it paid off?
Yes.
How much did you buy it for?
1900.
1900? Okay, now you listed phone as a monthly expense?
Rejection form.
Yeah.
Okay, how much a month do you pay for your phone?
I don't really remember.
How much do you spend in food every month?
I don't really know. I just buy the food.
Okay. Do you have insurance for your Honda Civic?
Yes.
Okay, how much do you pay a month in for insurance?
100 something.
100 and something? Does your job offer health care?
Yes.
Is your family covered under your health care?
Yeah, I'm paying for them to be on my insurance.
At your work?
Hmm.
Okay. And do you know how much they're charging you a month?
Like 2 something.
I'm sorry?
200 and something a week.
200 or 300 something a week? 200 and something a week.
200 and something a week.
Okay. Who's covered under your health insurance?
Ashley and Dominic.
Just for the record, you, Ashley, and Dominic?
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan Jr.'s not covered?
No.
Can you add him onto your insurance?
I could add him onto it.
Okay. Would it cost you more to add him onto your insurance?
Yes.
Do you know how much it's going to cost?
Not exactly.
Why didn't you put him on your insurance?
Because he has Medicaid.
On the topic of that. Are you receiving any other type of government assistance?
Food stamps.
You're not receiving disability?
Mm-mm.
You're
No.
not receiving housing?
No.
Do you know how much in food stamps you get?
Like $300.
Is that per month?
Mm.
Okay. Now, when CPS got involved with you, you were offered a service plan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you been given the opportunity to review that service plan?
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
A little bit.
A little bit? Do you know what services you were ordered to do?
Anger management, family therapy, individual therapy, drug and alcohol assessment, hair follicle. I can't really remember what else.
Have you done your anger management?
I think they've been mixing it up in the other classes that we have.
I'm objecting non-responsive. I'll ask you again. Have you done your anger management?
I haven't completed it yet.
Okay. When did you initiate it, your anger management?
I don't really remember.
Okay. Now you say you completed it. Is that what I heard?
Haven't
You haven't completed it. I'm sorry.
completed it.
Okay. Do you know how many sessions you have left?
No.
Who's the therapist for your anger management?
Mr. Bill Heron,
Mr. Bill Heron? Okay. When was the last time you saw Mr. Heron?
this past Tuesday.
Past Tuesday? Okay. And prior to that, when was the last time you saw him?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you have any upcoming appointment with Mr. Heron?
Tuesday. This coming Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay. What time is it scheduled for?
5 o'clock.
Now you said you were also ordered to do family therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you initiated your family therapy?
Yes.
When did you initiate your family therapy?
I don't remember.
Who's your therapist?
Bill Heron.
So it's the same Mr. Heron that's doing your anger management? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. Do you know how many sessions you have left for your family therapy?
No.
Did you do your psychological assessment?
No.
Did you do your psychiatric evaluation?
No.
Have you done your drug and alcohol assessment?
Nope.
Why have you not done your drug and alcohol assessment?
My work hours permit me from doing some stuff.
Why haven't you done your psychiatric assessment?
Same reason.
And what about your psychological assessment? Why haven't you done that?
Same reason.
Now you say you're doing family therapy. Are you also doing individual therapy?
Yes.
And who's your therapist for that?
Bill Heron.
Do you have any idea how many sessions you have left for your individual therapy?
Nope.
Do you know when your next appointment is for your individual therapy?
Tuesday. This upcoming Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday. Okay. And is that the same time, 5 o'clock?
Hmm.
Have you done your anger management?
He's mixing it together, like the classes.
I'm objecting non-responsive.
And I'm going to object to form, ask and answer.
Have you done your domestic violence class? Wait, actually, I need you to respond on anger management. You're not instructing him not to answer, right? Okay.
Do what now?
Have you done your anger management?
I'm gonna object us to misleading because anger management is something that goes on. Like, he has done some of it.
Have you initiated your anger
What
management?
are you asking?
I'm doing it with the family therapy and individual therapy.
Okay. Have you initiated your domestic violence class?
I don't recall having to do domestic violence.
Mr. Smith, do you know when this case is set for trial?
May
Objection
12th.
form.
May
Did you just-
12th.
May 12th? Okay, let's talk about Ryan for a little bit. Now, do you remember the day that we were in court where the judge stopped your visitation?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember what date that was?
No.
Do you, prior to that date, do you know what your visitation schedule was?
Objection.
Every week.
How often every week? How many hours, I'm sorry, per week?
An hour.
An hour? Were you present in court that day where the judge ordered you to contact CPS 48 hours prior to your visitation?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall that day?
Mm-mm.
What is your understanding prior to the court stopping your visitation? What is your understanding of how you were to set up your visits?
Objection form.
To contact Stephanie.
Stephanie?
Yeah. And set the visit up.
Do you know how far ahead you were supposed to contact Stephanie?
Objection form.
At least 2 days ahead of time.
And where would your visits be set up at?
The CPS office.
Who was to supervise your visit?
Who, I guess, whoever was available.
And prior to the court stopping your visit, when was your last visit?
In the hospital.
In the hospital, you remember a day?
No. This when he had his episode.
Okay. But he just had that episode about 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, correct?
Yeah.
Objection form.
Now, isn't it true the court stopped your visit prior to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask my question again. Prior to the court stopping your visitation, okay? When was your last visit?
I don't really remember.
You don't remember. Okay. Have you visited every week?
No.
How often would you visit?
When I could.
Have you ever set up a visit and failed to appear?
Yeah.
Right, stop. Sit up. There you go. Stop. So you can answer his question.
Why haven't you been able to attend your weekly visits prior to the court terminating your visitation?
Due to my work schedule.
Were you not given the opportunity to set up your own visitation schedule?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Matter of fact, did you not set up your visitation?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you didn't appear for your visitation after you set it up. Is that true? You still have to answer. You have to answer.
Can you repeat that question?
Okay. The question was, after you set up your visits, did you not fail to appear?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Were you given a schedule of all of Ryan Jr.'s doctor's visit?
Yes.
Okay. Were you able to attend all the visits, the medical visits?
No.
And why didn't you?
Due to my work schedule.
Did the department ever try to accommodate you and change
No.
your doctor's visits?
No.
No? Matter of fact, were a couple of your doctor's visits rescheduled?
Objection.
I don't recall.
Mr. Smith, have you ever expressed wanting to leave your wife? Divorcing your wife?
Yes.
Who did you express that to?
My mother.
Did you ever express that to the department? CPS.
Not that I remember. No.
Okay. Why are you wanting to leave your wife?
Objection. Form. And I'm going to ask you not to answer that.
Reason?
Because the question's misleading. You're assuming that he wants to leave his wife as of this deposition. You haven't established that. You've asked in the past, has he made that assertion? Your question goes to, does he want to do it as of today?
Fair. When you expressed that you wanted to leave your wife, why was that?
Just because we argued a little bit and talked it out.
I apologize, I just can't hear you.
We argued a little bit and then talked it out.
When did you express to your mother that you wanted to leave your wife?
I don't remember.
Do you at least remember a year?
No.
Or was it a one time, or did you make multiple times?
Just once.
Just once? We'll pass the witness for now.
I have no questions.
I don't have anything.
Hi, Ron. I'm Michelle Stover. You've met me before,
Yes.
have you? And I'm Ryan's attorney ad litem. guardian item also.
Hmm.
If, strike that, you've had the opportunity to go to some of the doctor's visits, haven't you?
Yes.
And at the hospital. Is that correct? What is your understanding of what type of care Ryan needs currently?
I know he has a lot of surgeries scheduled. Stuff.
And what about his daily routine?
I'm going to object form at this point.
I don't know.
Did you ask the doctor to discuss his daily medical routine with you?
No.
Do you think that's important for you and your wife to know how to properly care for Ryan should he be placed in your home?
Yes.
There are many occasions that you did not attend visitation with Ryan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you think it's important for Ryan to have had continuing contact with his parents?
Objection form.
Yes.
In addition to you not being able to attend because of your work schedule, isn't it true there were times when you were late?
Yes.
Isn't it true that the schedule, the visitations were changed to accommodate you so that when you arrived at CPS, then they would go get Ryan?
Yes.
Did you take advantage of that?
I don't remember.
Would you agree with me that Ryan has special medical needs?
Yes.
Have you been offered any training or classes to help you with his special medical needs?
No.
Have you talked to CPS about getting training or taking classes?
No.
Have you talked to his doctor or medical treatment staff about what type of classes or training that they have available that you could take?
No.
Do you think it's important that you do that?
Yes.
Why is that?
Objection
So when-
form.
So we know what to do.
Pass a witness.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything further.
Do you have any other vehicle besides that Honda Civic, Ryan?
I have another Honda Civic,
What year is that one?
94.
So you own two vehicles.
Yes.
Is the 94 Honda Civic in running?
No.
What's wrong with it?
Needs a new engine.
So right now you only have one operating vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. You know who Miss Stephanie Sammons is, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Have you ever made any verbal threats towards Miss Sammons?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Did you ever send her any threatening texts?
No.
Ryan, are you aware that all communication between you and the department is supposed to go through your attorney?
Yes.
Objection, don't answer that. We're gonna assert attorney-client privilege.
I'm not asking for the actual content.
I understand, but you would only establish that if he and I have talked about it. The basis of your question is that he's basically violating attorney-client privilege. He's waived that right. That's what you're getting at, right?
Do you often communicate with Miss Salmon by text?
Sometimes.
Ryan, if the court were to send Ryan Jr. back home with you, how do you intend to keep up with all his medical needs?
Objection form.
Write them down.
I'm sorry.
Write them down.
Will you be able to take him to all of his doctor's appointments?
Yeah.
We'll pass.
Nothing further.
Get it right.
6 deposition, 11:21 a.m.